most guys have experienced this, even if they've never said it out loud. A moment when another man, someone you trusted, didn't show up the way you thought he would. Not dramatic, just enough to register. He went quiet when you needed him, turned away when it mattered, or just stood there, didn't say a word. And something in you shifted. Now, it's not just about that guy, that man. It's about men. Now, I've had that moment more than once. And looking back over the years, what I notice is each time I didn't feel rage, I went through a quiet recalibration. It's like a door closing that you didn't decide to close. And one day you just found it shut. That's what this video is all about. You know, this is a betrayal that's really hard to name. Most men and women think of betrayal in terms of romance, affairs, lies, emotional abandonment. But men, we carry another kind of betrayal that runs just as deep and often deeper. It's the betrayal of other men. The coach who humiliated you in front of everyone. I had one of those. He thought public embarrassment was a teaching tool. Nope, it wasn't. Not for me anyway. What it taught me was never to be visible around men who had power over me. The good friend who sided with her during the breakup, or worse, during the divorce. Now, I've watched that happen many times over the years. After a lifetime of seeing it, at least half the time, the friend just wants to sleep with her. It's about sex. Now, that's not cynicism. That's pattern recognition. The father who wasn't there, not present emotionally, if there physically. Now, I met my dad when I was 17, and by then, for both situations, the damage is already done. Not by what he did, but by what was simply absent. Now, these betrayals don't leave marks on the body, obviously. They leave pain and silence in the heart. And over time, that stuff turns into armor. So what is it that makes this betrayal so devastating? Now, when a man gets hurt by another man, others, everybody, just dismiss it almost immediately. Now, they'll tell you, oh, it's not personal. Just get over it. That's the way men are. Man up. Don't be so sensitive. Time to move on. So what do? And especially if we're younger, we bury it. We frame it in our own mind and our heart as a lesson. And we act like it didn't matter. But here's what's actually true. Broken or even shattered trust in other men changes your entire relationship with and to masculinity. Not just men, but your own internal masculinity. Now, it's not just that he hurt me. It's I'm alone in a world of wolves. Now, that belief doesn't just shape how you act in the male spaces. It shapes how you act as a man, everywhere in your life. Now, I've never met a man who escaped that 100%. Most, deny its impact. What are the signs? You're still carrying it? Sometimes it's obvious. A memory or a broken bond, something that you still feel. You think of that memory and boom, you're right there. But usually, most often, it's more subtle. You keep your distance in all male spaces. Okay? You expect competition instead of support. You get suspicious when a man offers to help without an angle. We think of the gym because it's an all-male space, but just think of the corporate world, the work world. Some guy offers to help and you're immediately wondering, what's he up to? You feel guarded when a man affirms you because it's burned you before. You downplay your pain. Now, this is common. Just it didn't hurt that bad. And again, why? Because nobody wants to hear it. Your good friends, your good buddies, oh, they'll let you go on once. But think about the divorce or the lost promotion or anything that was significant that really got to you. The loss of a loved one. You're going to feel that. You're going to live with that for months, if not years. And they only want to hear it one time, and after that, they're done with it. You downplay it because you've learned nobody wants to hear it. What's the most telling sign? Well, you don't trust your own desire for brotherhood anymore. That'll tell you more than anything. Every time you leaned in, tried to cross that bridge, reached out to another brother, it cost you something, and you don't want to do it anymore. Now, these are habits, but they're not just habits. They're defenses, built to protect something real. What are we protecting? Oh, well, how about your dignity? How about your heart? Your belief that belonging was possible. Yeah, that's a lot. That's very real. Because when a man betrays another man, it doesn't just leave you hurt. It leaves you questioning your place among men entirely. You start to believe other men can't be trusted. If I show weakness, I'll be used. If I show strength, and certainly too much strength, I'll be resented. The only safe way is to be a man alone. Be the lone wolf. This is how many men become islands. Not because they don't need others, but because they've learned at a real cost to think, even believe, they don't need anyone. But they do. And yet, the longing doesn't go away. Maybe you don't like the sound of this, so let's dig into it. Even after everything, the betrayal, the cold silence, the friend who vanished, the public put down, there is still a longing. And you say, well, you question that. How about a longing to be seen, to be supported, to belong without performing? That longing doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. Because deep down, most men know masculinity was never designed to be lived alone. Think back hundreds of thousands of years ago. Everyone is a hunter-gatherer, and all the men hunt in brotherhood. Real brotherhood, when it's earned rather than just assumed, is one of the most quietly powerful things available to a man. So, how do we fix this? How does healing begin? Well, first off, name it without shame. Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't apologize. Don't minimize or justify why it hurt. It did, it was real. Call it what it was. Pain, isolation, fear. Those are mine. They may be yours as well, or something different. Whatever it was for you. Name it. Because you can't heal what you won't name. Then you have to separate the man from the masculine. One man's betrayal doesn't mean all men are unsafe. 10 men's betrayal does not mean all men are unsafe. It can feel that way. I felt that way. But there are men who listen, who show up, and who stay. As we mature, it becomes obvious who has the skills and the desire to be stand-up men with other men. Notice them. Join them. Learn from them. Let them redefine what's possible. So redraw your boundaries. Now, this is real important. Forgiveness does not mean access. Don't keep betrayers in your inner circle. Healthy brotherhood runs on mutual respect, and without it, it's just basically a contract of convenience. And here's one important thing. Rebuild slowly. Once you come to this conclusion, it's time to do something. Don't rush back into groups. Don't manufacture connection out of loneliness. Look for one man, maybe in a group, but find the one guy you can have an honest conversation with. one shared value, and let trust grow roots in the relationship before you start, as they say, counting on the shade. Most men don't stop wanting brotherhood after betrayal. They just stop expecting it. They adapt, keep their distance, lower the standard, and rely entirely on themselves. And after a while, years maybe, it starts to feel normal. But something inside, deep inside, still recognizes what was lost, what's missing. If any of this felt familiar, there's a good chance you've been carrying it longer than you said it out loud. You don't need to rush toward anything. Just stop telling yourself it never mattered. Because when you do, you start to notice something. You're not the only man in the room carrying this. Not even close. Now, I'll go first. I had a coach who used public humiliation like it was a strategy. And it took me longer, many years longer than I'd like to admit, to understand what had happened to me. Not just how I performed, but how I showed up around men who had any authority over me. How many memories do you have where something similar happened to you?